Daiichi Ruby. Today I will discuss this female horse from a Splendid family. The Splendid family is a female lineage with a long history in Japanese horse racing. Daiichi Ruby continued this traditional lineage and succeeded by taking advantage of her rapid speed. Before we begin, let's start with some Japanese snacks. To explain Daiichi Ruby, I need to go back at least as far as her grandmother Ito. The ancestor of the female lineage known as the Splendid family is Mary, imported from England in 1957. Mary came to Japan and had several foals, but I will not go into detail. Ito is the third-generation daughter of Mary. Ito fought evenly with the male horses, winning 7 of the 15 races. And she was also a successful broodmare. She had a total of 14 foals, 2 of which are particularly famous. They are Hagino Talk Lady and Hagino Kamuyo. Hagino Kamuyo is the winner of the Takarazu Kakinen. And Hagino Talk Lady is known as the winner of the 1980 Oka Show and Queen Elizabeth Cup. She is famous for her rapid speed and set a new record time when she won her 2-year-old debut race on the Hakadata course by more than 2 seconds over the next horse. The 57.2 seconds timed at this time is an extraordinary time that has not been broken to this day as a record for a 2-year-old horse. Daiichi Ruby was born to this very fast horse, Hagino Talk Lady, and Tasho Boy, known as Pegasus. The female lineage connected to Mary that I have described so far has come to be known as the Splendid family. Daiichi Ruby was born in 1987, and because she had one of the best bloodlines imaginable at the time, she was priced at 100 million yen. Daiichi Ruby was handicapped at birth by the lack of symmetry in her left and right legs. But when she ran, she was wonderful and totally on a different level than the other horses around her. Daiichi Ruby debuted a little later than the others, in February 1990, when she was 3 years old. It was a 1600-meter race on the turf, and she used her speed to run away with the win. Her speedy run was like that of her mother, Hagino Talk Lady. After seeing her performance, the trainer set her sights on the classic race, Oka Show. However, she had just won her debut race, so she registered for the Oka Show trial to ensure her entry in the Oka Show. However, the Oka Show trial is also a Grade 2, and unfortunately Daiichi Ruby was excluded due to insufficient prize money earned. She competed in the Anemone Stakes, a one-winner class race, instead. Daiichi Ruby came out strong in the final stretch from a good position to take her second win. With her second win, she later registered to compete in the Oka Show, but unfortunately was eliminated as a result of the draw. She competed in a race held on the same day as the Oka Show, but due to poor track conditions caused by rain, she was unable to take full advantage of her speed and came in a close second. Incidentally, it was Agnes Flora who won the Oka Show. Daiichi Ruby switched her goal to the Oaks and competed in the Grade 2 Oaks trial. She broke away in the final stretch and took the lead. Holding the lead, she was on the verge of winning, but was overtaken by a horse that was driving hard on the outside and finished the close second. Despite the loss, her second-place finish in this race earned her a priority entry into the Oaks. Daiichi Ruby has always been the favorite, but in the Oaks she was the second favorite for the first time. The favorite in the Oaks was Agnes Flora, winner of the Oka Show. But that was to be expected, because she had won all 5 races so far. To go ahead with the results, Daiichi Ruby was defeated in 5th place. The distance of 2,400 meters in this Oaks was too long for her. In her career, this Oaks is the only race she has run 2,400 meters. And Agnes Flora finished second and retired when a fracture was discovered after the race. And Agnes Flora finished second and was found to have a broken bone. She then tried to come back, but eventually retired after this race. Daiichi Ruby took the summer off and targeted the Queen Elizabeth Cup for the autumn season. As a prelude to the Queen Elizabeth Cup, she competed in the Grade 2 Rose Stakes in October. She chased ahead but stalled in the final stretch and finished 5th. She then continued training for the Queen Elizabeth Cup, but she contracted cellulitis. Therefore, she had to give up racing for the rest of the year and start the following year. On January 6, she competed in the open class Lac Yo Stakes and finished 2nd. 3 weeks later, she competed in the Grade 3 Kyoto Mare Stakes. Daiichi Ruby was in good position. As she entered the final stretch, she accelerated tenaciously. She shook off the chase and finished in the lead. This was her first graded race victory. She then went on to compete in the Nakayama Mare Stakes. She was in a good position, as she had been in the previous race, and she was in pursuit. In the final stretch she chased hard but was unable to catch the runaway and was overtaken by a horse that came from further back and finished 3rd. However, her trainer felt that she would be able to run an even race with a male horse, based on her race performance this year. April's Spring Cup, this race is positioned as a prelude to the Yasuda Kinen. Daiichi Ruby competed in this race. This was her first time facing a top-class male horses. Daiichi Ruby was the 3rd favorite. The favorite was Bamboo Memory, who had won 2 Grade 1 races. After the start, Daiichi Ruby took a good position on the outside. In the final stretch, she accelerated strongly to take the lead. Bamboo Memory was chasing from the back of the pack, but he was only good enough to finish 4th. Daiichi Ruby kept the lead and finished in the lead. She won her 2nd graded race title. Although she defeated Bamboo Memory was the favorite in her target race, Yasuda Kinen, and Daiichi Ruby was the 2nd favorite. Bamboo Memory has a proven track record, especially since he was the Yasuda Kinen champion 2 years ago. When the race started, Daiichi Ruby took a position behind the middle of the pack. Bamboo Memory was in a position slightly ahead of her. The time through the 1,000 meters of this race was a fast 57.6 seconds. As a result, as they entered the final stretch, the front runners lost stamina and gradually stalled out. Daiichi Ruby was still in the back of the pack with less than 400 meters to go until the finish line. She drove hard through the outside of the course. She passed Daiichi Helios in front of her. Thus, Daiichi Ruby became the first female horse to win the Yasuda Kinen after the introduction of the grading system. She next competed in the Takamatsu no Miya Cup in July. Today, the Takamatsu no Miya Kinen is a Grade 1 race over 1,200 meters, but in those days it was a Grade 2 race over 2,000 meters. Although the races earlier this year have shown that Daiichi Ruby has an aptitude for the mile distance, there was a reason why she dared to compete in this 2,000-meter race. Her father, Tasho Boy, had won this race. In addition, her mother, Hagino Top Lady, and her grandmother, Ito, had also won this race. As such, it is a race that is closely related to the Daiichi Ruby's pedigree. For this reason, Daiichi Ruby became the most favorite. Her opponents included Daiichi Helios, who finished 2nd in the Yasuda Kinen. In the race, Daiichi Helios took the 2nd position and Daiichi Ruby took the 3rd position. At the entrance to the final stretch, Daiichi Helios took the lead. Daiichi Ruby followed him. She gradually closed the gap and by the time she crossed the finish line they were side by side. However, after a photographic judgment, Daiichi Ruby came in a close 2nd. She then spent about 3 months of summer vacation on the ranch. Her plan for the autumn season was to target the mile championship in November and the Sprinters Stakes in December. Her first race after the break was the Grade 2 Swan Stakes in October. She was again up against Bamboo Memory and Daiichi Helios. She accelerated in the final stretch from a good position. She tried to take the lead, but fell a neck short of KS Miracle, who broke away from the inside. The winner, KS Miracle, set a record time at the time. And Daiichi Ruby also recorded the same running time as KS Miracle, although she lost. She is the spring season's mile champion, having won the Yasuda Kinen. Although she lost in the Swan Stakes, she was the favorite in the mile championship in November. Her opponents again include KS Miracle, Daiichi Helios, and Bamboo Memory. However, Daiichi Ruby failed to get off to a good start. Her position was around 5th from the back. She gained positions as she rounded the final corner and was right in the middle of the field at the entrance to the final stretch. At that time, it was Daiichi Helios who was leading the race. This horse is strong when he runs in a good mood. Daiichi Ruby chased hard but could not quite close the gap with him. In the end, Daiichi Helios was able to run away with the race, and Daiichi Ruby had to settle for second place. After 3 consecutive close second-place finishes, she now competed in the Sprinters Stakes in December. Since Bamboo Memory retired after the Mile Championship and Daiichi Helios will compete in the Arima Kinen a week later, the Sprinters Stakes was essentially a showdown between Daiichi Ruby and KS Miracle. As the race started, Daiichi Ruby took a position a little behind the middle of the pack. On the final stretch, KS Miracle was about to line up at the front. But here is where something unusual happened to his leg. My goodness, he broke his leg and cheated back down. And the Daiichi Ruby was coming up right by him, all at once. She accelerated furiously and quickly took the lead and extended her lead even further. Daiichi Ruby won by a convincing 4 lengths, her second win in a Grade 1 race. Her time was 1 minute 7.6 seconds, a new record time. She has now surpassed 400 million yen in winnings, the highest amount ever earned by a female horse at the time. She garnered 12 votes on the Horse of the Year ballot that year, placing 3rd behind Tokai Teo and Majiro McQueen. She was expected to do well the following year, but she was in heat and, according to her trainer, had already lost her fighting spirit. True to her trainer's word, in 1992 Daiichi Ruby competed in the Milers Cup but finished 6th. Then she was beaten to 5th place in the Spring Cup, and then a disappointing 15th place in the Yasuda Kinen. And after this she retired. Her total is 18 races and 6 wins. She became a broodmare. Typical of her series is her first foal, Daiichi Cigar, born in 1994. Daiichi Cigar was fathered by Tony Bin, and did reasonably well, finishing 3rd in the 1997 Oaks. But other than that, no horse has done anything particularly noteworthy. Daiichi Ruby had a total of 7 foals. Then, in 2007, she contracted laminitis and died. She was 20 years old. The offspring of Daiichi Ruby do not seem to have fared much better. However, it seems that the bloodline connected from her grandmother Ito is still alive, albeit in a very small way. Looking forward to the return of the Splendid family. That's all for this time. If you want to know more about Japanese horses, subscribe to this channel. Thank you.